Perfect. Hi, Connie. It's Alistair from Zavvi in the UK. A pleasure to chat with you, and congrats on the movie.
Thank you. Likewise.
So you've been very open about wanting to make a sequel since the first Nobody, and you've been speaking very extensively to Bob about developing your character backstories. So I just want to know if anything from those earliest conversations you had made it to the screen in this movie.
I think so. And I think what is exciting about the way we're developing Becca is that we're little by little starting to refer to that backstory. And we have like this really lovely, lovely story in the back. And we're just unpacking it slowly as we go. And you're starting to see where their relationship is founded. And you're starting to see what are these talents that they have, and what is it that is that unique mixture in that relationship between Becca and Hutch, and why is it that they understand each other even as they are very different people. You're just I'm just really enjoying how that story is starting to come out. And there's a lot of scenes in this film that also like function as a metaphor for their relationship in a very beautiful way. And I think that that is not least due to the 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 producers, our incredible director Timo, and Bob. And I think that they're just such a great team, and they just provide a lot of dignity for all of the characters to shine in their moment. And that's also because Bob is one of those male leads who has just a lot of generosity and a lot of space for everyone in his life.
Because it is far more of a family story than the first movie as well, and I can see that seeping through. I mean, did you feel that you weren't given enough of a chance to explore those relationships last time?
Well, I think that the first film is sort of like launching the family, and also, not to say a brand, but in a way it is. It's a specific reality and a specific aesthetic, and it's becoming more and more fleshed out. And I think like they're the same producers as the John Wick movies, and so you're seeing like this development of a universe. And that's what I think that I'm like really noticing, just how good they are at positioning the characters and the universe and making sure that there's a reality that's absolutely relatable, but also, it keeps on being explored and it keeps on growing that universe, but it's grounded in a specific universe.
Yeah. I mean, if there were any criticisms of the first movie, and there weren't many, it was very well liked by me included. But I mean, the one criticism that did come up was it could be seen as like a sort of hyper masculine power fantasy. But the sequel is more comedic in tone, which I think does sort of undercut that. So I just want to know, do you feel it's less macho than the first, or if it's just more self-aware about that aspect?
Well, it's interesting that the way I see the first film, and also the way I think that Bob sees the first film, is that the first film is really the expression of male vulnerability. The first film really is rooted in Bob's experience of 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 impotence in the front of an armed robbery in his house, and how hard it was to not have the power in that situation where he wanted to protect his family. And I think that the film, number one, the reason why Nobody is such an interesting film, other than being a great action franchise, it really explores the underlying trauma of being a man, and what is it that we do when we explore that. We're exploring the fantasy of not being vulnerable, the fantasy of not feeling like evil is going to harm your family and you can't do anything about it. That is what it is exploring. So it's actually almost anti macho in exploring male vulnerability and the response to that. And I'm sorry if I sounded like a therapist here.
No, no, that's exactly what I want from an answer. Perfect. It makes my job so much easier. But on the flip side of that, of course, I mean, as we, get to the third act of this movie, women are more as involved as the men in the action this time around. So just to end, I mean, I just want to know, do you think that going forward there could be an even more unhinged, ready to fight side of Becca that we only get a glimpse of here?
I keep telling the producers that it's one of my favorite things to do, and they hear me. And so let's just take it one step at a time. But I am pretty sure at some point we're going to get around to exploring that amazing backstory between Becca and Hutch and how they really met and under what circumstances. And as I've said before, they are professional secret keepers. They live in the middle of the suburbs in the middle of middle America. And as such, they are almost invisible people. And that's on purpose.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to seeing the next one. Had a blast with this one. Connie, a pleasure chatting with you.
Thanks, Alistair.
No worries. Take care.